scrappy people. Tracy Reed here today is scrapping probably one of the most poignant layouts that I'm ever going to scrapbook. Well, every time I scrapbook it. Abby, go lay down. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, this layout had me on the struggle bus hardcore. It was just a mess from start to finish. I do like the finished layout, but it was just really hard to get there. And I think part of it is that I am still struggling a little bit with my scrappy mojo, and part of it is that it's just too fresh, right? Some stories are just too fresh, too emotional. You want to do them justice, but you don't feel like you're doing them justice, which just kind of leads into this like emotional hole where you're like, nothing is right, nothing is working for me. I don't know what to do. It's okay. Sometimes that happens. It's not a big deal. You either shelve it and move on to something else and come back to it when you're ready, or you do like me and you power through. And mostly I powered through just because I wanted to use this collection. I just wanted to get this layout done, and if I decide later that I want to go back and do it again, I will. But I do like the way it came out, so I probably won't. Anyway, so you can see here I've done a green and yellow color scheme, mostly because the school colors are definitely green and yellow, and then in that picture on the left, my oldest is wearing a yellow shirt, or at least it has a yellow collar, so the color scheme worked. I decided that I wanted to have hidden journaling on this page, so I'm going to create a large pocket out of the paper, and I'm going to put a traveler's notebook signature in that pocket. I'm just backing it with white cardstock so that it has a pocket, and then later on when I adhere my layouts together in my album, I'll just adhere whatever layout comes next onto the other side of that, so it's not a big deal. So I stuck that traveler's notebook signature in there, and I punched out a hole at the top because that was the only part that had a design on it, was the very top. I don't want there to be like my handwriting sticking out, so I decided to do it at the top. I took a break from the layout, and I decided to cut out some of these these digital stamps as cut files in my Silhouette Studio. So I just dragged and dropped the stamp into the canvas. Then I duplicated it down the page. This is way, way, way more than I'm going to need, but I cut them out on glittery cardstock paper, and I still had no idea at this point what I wanted to do. I decided to back both of these photos with 4x6 cards that I'm going to notch into banners because I felt like the green and yellow color scheme was a bit intense. It is the color scheme of the school, so I wanted to make sure that I paid homage to that, but it is an intense color scheme, so I wanted to break some of that up with some more white-based patterns, and I decided to go with the wordy paper underneath the current photo and the confetti paper underneath the older photo. Then I wanted to add in this title that says "You Shine." Now, I definitely put this on this side of the page with adhesive and changed my mind later and want it somewhere else, and so I'm gonna have to reprint this photo because there is adhesive stuck to the photo. I don't know why my phone decided to go in and out of focus while I did this video. I'm really sorry, but I do have to reprint this photo later and re-adhere it because there's adhesive in that corner now. Most of the time my adhesive comes up, but when you stick it to a photo, not so much. I really wanted to make this banner work at the top, but it did not work at the top, so we're going to go across the bottom. And then what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to create a mirror effect, right? Symmetry on both sides, because the point is this is preschool graduation, this is senior graduation, and I wanted there to be sort of a now and then vibe, a before and after, and so I'm trying to create symmetry across the spread, but not make it super matchy. I just want it to be sort of similar, I guess you could say. I wanted this celebrating you, and you did it. I wanted to bring in some of this blue My initial thought was because there was blue in the You Shine, but that's silly because there's all different colors in the banners. So I was going to incorporate more blue later, but I decided instead to just stick with the green and yellow scheme with just a few pops of blue here and there. I decided to put stars in the center of these bursts to make them more interesting, and I originally had them up on pop dots and I did not like it. So I'm taking the pop dots off and I am putting them directly on the paper. I thought that the pop dots would be cool because it would give some dimension to the page, but they were just a little bit flimsy to be up on pop dots, and so it didn't work out so well. So I'm just pulling things up again as I usually do. I don't like the way that this ends up. I'm going to add some titles to the page, and the reason that I moved that You Shine is because with the title and everything else that I end up adding to that cluster, everything was on the left hand side of that photo, and it felt, I guess, not top heavy but left heavy. I'm going to use these alphas to add pre-K to this photo and then senior to the other photo. I don't know why I felt the need to emphasize it. I just did. I'm just framing these photos. So I have some green and yellow stars that I'm wanting to add. But again, I'm just on the super struggle bus for this layout. And so I'm adding things and taking things off and putting things on and taking things off. And it's just kind of the way that this layout went. But I wanted to, I left it in there, right? Because, well, I did cut out a lot of struggle, but it was mostly just repetitive, boring struggle. But I left a lot of the struggle in because it happens to all of us. We all, no matter how much we love the product, no matter how much we love the photos, and sometimes because we love the photos so much, it just ends up being a mess. So you can see, okay, I put the pre-K and that star there, and it was just too left heavy. So I'm going to put this over here instead, and then I'm going to move the You Shine to the top right of the photo because there was just too many words on that side. So I'm going to have to reprint this photo. Not a big deal. You can see all that adhesive stuck there. Oof. Man, you can see just my indecision and my struggle with all of this as I go through, and it's just it's just hard. Put the yellow over here, and then I'm going to put it's not going to stay there, but I'm trying to make it work so that I can put this title back, You Shine. I really did want that on there too, and I felt like it framed the photo well. I'm sorry if you can hear my cats. They are all riled up tonight, but I thought that it framed the photo well too, diagonally there. Okay, so You Shine. Perfect. Maybe perfect. You can see just every little itty bitty bit is just giving me stress. I'm going to add in these little hearts because why not? Yellow and green everywhere. I'm feeling like the stars on the bursts are not standing out very well. I'm going to move everything down to center it more in the page since I decided I'm not going to add anything else vertically on the page. And then I'm going to take these enamel dots and I'm going to add yellow enamel dots on the center of both of these stars. So I thought initially I was going to do like a yellow one and a green one, but both of the blue and the green stars were pretty dark, so I didn't want to add a dark green. Goodness gracious. Just everything is giving me struggle. Put this in here so I can see how everything looks together, and I'm still feeling like this whole page is sort of meh to me, so I think I'm going to add in some more of these bursts. So I'm going to put one back here, and that adds enough to it that it makes me happy, but not so much that I'm annoyed. I'm going to add this one up here with this well done. And then I'm going to add in another yellow dot on this burst. I initially choose green, and you can see it just doesn't work. So the yellow will be better. So I'm going to choose yellow and I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There is a link to all of the other stops on the Happy Day YouTube hop in the comment section below. All right, thank you.